Seahawks fan. And Walter.
Arizona, Devil with the Sport.
Catch it right there.
Dave Burleson, you're watching NorCam.
You're watching NorCam.
Whew. What's up, everybody? This is NorCam coming at you fresh home from this long day of back-to-back games. First, the Seattle Seahawks this afternoon, and then the evening game right afterwards, the Mariners American League Division game between the Mariners and the Detroit Tigers. It's been a long day, but man, what a fun experience to be able to do what I got the chance to do today, and glad I could share this online with some of you who are watching. So I just want to get a few thoughts out on today, because this was just a kind of a whirlwind weekend, really starting before the weekend started, because I went down to San Diego for a couple of days to visit my girls who are going to college down there, and then rushed back last night to make it here for this epic day today. So just want to get a few thoughts on that, see what some of your reactions might be from today's events. But Brendan Keyport, thanks again for donating your ticket to Fans for Good, and for giving one of our viewers or fans out there to get a chance to go to this game. And hopefully you guys had a good time at the game. I certainly did, despite the result that it was a very entertaining game that I thought for sure we were going to win. And if a few things go our way, one or two things go our way, we should have won that game again. But anyway, we'll start that in a second. But Blizzard Peak, what's going on? Just wanted to say, this weekend was a great start off with just spending Friday, Saturday down to San Diego visiting my girls. Got some chance to hang out, spend some time going out to dinner, helping them with some things around their dorm and apartment, and just squeezing in a few time to do some things with the girls and some of their friends. So it was a good weekend. Then we rushed back Saturday night, and I was actually watching that first Mariners game up to the point where Julio had just tied it up with the RBI double to make it a tie ball game. And that's when the internet shut off, so nobody on the plane knew what the score was. And I knew that the game would be over by the time I landed. So when I landed, that's when we found out the news that we lost 3-2. It was kind of a bummer, but maybe it was good I didn't watch it, because it sounds like it was a frustrating loss the way that things played out at the very end. So that was kind of a bummer. But then it was like, okay, that's all right. It's just the first game. We'll get through this, and maybe we can still get a couple of good positive wins out of today. So AD, I'm going to talk about our time together, of course. Rick Reed, thanks again for watching. Outpost 376GS, what's going on? So today was a long day. Started off for me. I got up in the morning between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning, just getting stuff ready, doing my paint and all that stuff. And this is besides the usual paint, but I had to do the writing in here. And what's tricky about doing the writing yourself is that even though I'm doing this stuff in the mirror, in order to write it so it's legible for for everyone else who's looking at it in the mirror, I have to write reverse, because when you're writing in reverse, everything in the mirror is backwards. So you have to think backwards, right? The G has to be facing the other way. So it's a little trickier than just writing letters. You actually have to write mirror style. So anyway, got a little bit of the Go Hawks and the Go M's in here. So I got the paint thing going in. The day started out where I did my usual routine, but this time it was just me picking up my buddy Mark Collins. And then I'd planned this game for a while with AD and his brother and his mom. He got this game as a birthday present for his mom. So the three of them joined me in my seats, and we had a heck of a day today. It was fun. We met up at the Mount Baker train station, where we used to always go to go to games. Picked them up, exchanged some swag and things like that, and then we went into the parking at Lumen Field. Went up to the club, got some stuff there. Then we went down to the Ticketmaster tailgate, formerly known as Touchdown City, and then watched some of the legend players of over the 50 top players of the 50 years go up there, including guys like Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Walter Jones, Lofa Tatupu, Matt Hasselbeck, amongst others. We didn't see everybody, but we saw a good chunk of them. And then that finished with with a couple of songs performed by the one and only Sir Mix-a-Lot, doing his finishing up with his Baby Got Back, which was cool. So after that, we went back up, went to the club for a little bit more, and then went up to our seats to watch the game, which if you tuned in on YouTube, you would have saw our experience up there. So we had a great time with AD and Quentin and his mom, Kathy, and so I hope you guys had a great time. I see AD's in the chat as well. So I had a great time. Hope you guys had fun too. Let's see, Addison, what's going on? Seahawks game was brutal. Well, it was brutal at the end, but the game itself was actually a lot of fun. 80 says the last play of the Seahawks game sucks, by the way. It was no, I told the story. Tyler P, I don't know. I'm just going to do this quick because I haven't seen my wife all day. I'm going to catch up on things. But I just want to do a quick, just this. I think I'll probably do a call-in show later in the week just to talk about things and do more of a call-in show. But this is just more to get some of just initial thoughts out of the way. Addison Shebo feels like the same old for the Hawks. I wouldn't say that. We can beat the bomb dwellers, but when it comes time to toe-to-toe with the best, we can't get the win. Disappointed it was, but that's I actually thought it was a lot more promising things from the offensive side. Defensively, disappointing, but it also was we were with missing a lot of key guys, and that never helps when your secondary is depleted and they take advantage of it big time. Carrie, my voice sounds a little scratchy. I was doing a lot of yelling today, so I figure by the time 2 games, Seahawks game and a Mariner game right after, the voice is going to be a little bit trashed for sure. 80 thought you guys were all taking the light rail. Nope, they got a ride over, and then we picked them up, took them there, and then they just they got picked up by their ride coming back. So the light rail was never part of the equation. Just picked them up at the station. Ryan Radar, cracking home game Thursday night. You should go stream it. Yeah, I'm. Right now I'm all Seahawks and Mariners. I don't really have the room for doing. Soccer was never my thing. Hockey, I'm still trying to figure that out, but I'll get to it eventually. Kenny Meyer, what's going on? Go Hawks, go Mariners. Brendan, I still call it touchdown tailgate. LOL. I Touchdown City. It's still Touchdown City. Ticketmaster tailgate's a weird name for me. But Jay, I'm fishing. The Seahawks loss has me sick to my stomach. Middle of the road team. I don't know about that. Ben Ellison. Sometimes I stream your Seahawks games when the game is not playing my R. Thanks, man. Season's not over yet. Go Hawks. Brendan, I went over the M's game. I did. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it in a second. Aaron Walrack, nice to meet you at the Hawks game. Yeah, I met a bunch. I always meet a bunch of people, and it's always a lot of fun to find out people who've been watching my stuff and take pictures and things like that. So Aaron, nice to meet you. Dan, Maria, I bet you're exhausted. You know what? I'm actually not that tired. I thought I might be, been given a long day that it was, but I don't know. It's something about a win just energizes you. So. I'd be even more bouncing off the walls if we'd won that first game, because I'd be talking about back-to-back wins, first time ever, But that's okay. That's okay. I like what I saw, especially offensively. Steve, sucks that the Hawks lost, but the Mariners are one step closer to getting to the World Series. They're one step closer, at least to even it up, but they got a lot of work to do in a short 3-game series now. So they got to go steal one from the Tigers sometime this week, and then hopefully come back and they could sweep the Tigers and win it over there, or they win one, lose one, and then have a Game 5 here for all the marbles. That would be pretty cool. Let's see. Aaron Walrack, good win for the M's. Yes, indeed. What a game, too bad to lose. Seahawks defense was bad. Yes, I agree. AD says his brother Quentin went full-on ballistic mode when the Mariners won in the parking lot, scaring the living crap out of the lady nearby. Oh, we should saw a video of that. Tori says, hey, me and Corey miss you. I know, I haven't seen you guys in a while since we've been doing the watch parties over at Emerald Downs. Aaron Warwick, that jacket is dope. This is actually not a jacket. I'm layered up because I wasn't sure how cold it was going to get tonight. So I got a Seahawks hoodie underneath here, and then I got my NorbCam throwback jersey with my name on the back. And then for this Mariner game, I just threw this on. This is my Star Wars Mariners Star Wars night shirt from June when I went with my dad. I love this shirt. A lot of people give me a lot of compliments because they don't see this very often. So it was a unique giveaway. So this is my Mariners attire for tonight. Yeah, Wendy, it's hard to watch the defense struggle for sure. Nicholas Jones, bro, missed you for some games this year. That's okay. Next year, go, bro. Go Seahawks and go Mariners. Let's go. Brendan, how crazy was Timo in person? Yeah, it was great. Not my first game, but in a playoff atmosphere, it's totally different. Every seat filled up, even the top, outfield seats that you normally see. Addison, that Tampa offense had a lot missing too, though McDonald needed to fix things up a little bit more, and some of the offensive play calling was bizarre. I agree with that. Like the middle pitch, I was pissed about that one. AD needs to figure out a game. I know, we were talking about it. The problem is there's not a lot of games. It's amazing how tight the schedule goes from this point on. At this point, we could not pull off the win. Stacy, what's going on? Great singer, Stacy Stewart. Glad you got to experience that today. You look exhausted. LOL, go Hawks, go M's. Just my voice sounds exhausted. I'm probably, as soon as I come down from it, I'll be like, oh. But right now, I'm still hanging in there. All right, so Tori Salve, your daughter's doing great. That's awesome. Honors and everything. There you go. What was I going to say? The Seahawks game, quick recap on that one. So let me start with the pros and the cons. The negatives were the first 28 minutes of the game kind of sucked for our team, both sides of the football. The defense weren't getting stops. Well, they're getting enough stops because they kept them to a couple of field goals, and then they finally get a touchdown, but at least they were, or was it still 6? Maybe it was still, can't remember what the score was at the half. Did they have the 13 points? And we had 14? I think it was, no, 13-7. 13-7, yeah. But unfortunately, too many lack of execution in the first half. Missed the field goal, which I knew. I said early on, but that's going to come back to haunt us, and it did. Too many penalties that killed drives. And then on top of that, the Jalen Milroe, I don't know why they keep throwing him in those random plays in the middle of nowhere, which everybody knows he's just going to run. And then he tries to pitch it, makes a bad pitch, and they turn the ball over. And that just killed a drive that was going just fine. And they should have just stuck with what was working. I don't know why they keep doing that in these kind of nonsensical, random moments. So I wish they would just stop doing that. If they're going to do something with Miller, do something more intentional, not just sort of like a random, hey, you want to go in there and have a shot? Let's just work you a play in here so you don't get bored on the sideline. Defense was frustrating because we couldn't get stops. We couldn't get pressure on the quarterback, but it didn't help that we had a couple of our defensive stars like Witherspoon and Julian Love out of the game, and then we lost Eamon Worry again. We lost Woolen again, which isn't necessarily a bad thing by itself, but then we brought in Nehemiah Pritchett. He got burned on a touchdown pass, and then he got injured, and we were down like, who's left? So I don't think AD heard me. I said, AD, you better get ready. They're going to need you to go in there at cornerback pretty soon here. But, yeah, I mean, we were walking wounded out there, so it's not a huge surprise that they were torching our secondary because we are just down to like backups on backups. So Baker Mayfield had a game, and we only sacked him, I recall, one time. And you give him that much time, he's going to find an open receiver, and he did that more times than not. But so those were the bad things in the first half. But then that 2-minute drive at the end of the first half was great. They got the touchdown, and that was awesome. Then they got then went to halftime. Then they got the ball back, scored again. So we got 14 over. I think it was 14-13 at the half, or after the first possession in the second half. And after that, it was like an offense just back and forth and back and forth. And I love the fact that every time that Tampa Bay would score, we answered. And then we got a stop, and then we took the lead. And it felt like, okay, we're a touchdown lead, and we can just get one stop, we're going to win this game. And, of course, we didn't get the stop. And but they yielded the touchdown, but we still had time remaining, and all we had to do was get a field goal. And I thought for sure this was going to work out perfectly. We go down the field, Jason Myers will kick a 50-yard field goal, we win this game, and walk out happy bunch of Seahawks fans. Unfortunately, and I haven't watched the replay, I haven't listened to anything, I just know what I saw, and it just felt like I thought he was trying to force the ball into a receiver somewhere in the middle of the field, and then the linebacker somehow jumped in front of it and got it, and as soon as that happened, I knew that we were screwed. And our only chance was if they somehow make a big blunder on their own, either drop the football somehow or miss the field goal, which they didn't, and then we lost by 3. And that was just too bad because we played so well. And I remember saying multiple times how every game we've played, every drive, I became more and more impressed with Sam Darnold, his pocket presence, his ability to convert, escape pressure in the pocket when it was collapsing. And, that one play where we scored the touchdown on the 4th down, I mean, it looked like he was dead to rights, like he was just going to go down. And he just escaped enough to find Torrey Horton wide open for a touchdown pass. And that was amazing. And so I can't let one interception kill what I thought was a very defining game for Sam Darnold. That proves that he is a very, very good quarterback, deserves to be the starting quarterback, and any doubts that he's not qualified enough to be the starting quarterback for Seattle is crazy. And so Sam Darnold has definitely got the skills. He never ceases to amaze me, and it's just unfortunate that last play. It was kind of like the last play of the 49ers game. We should have won that game too. And I think if he'd got all his chances to finish that drive, we would have won that 49ers game. In the same way that I think if Darnold doesn't throw an interception for whatever reason, if he got hit or something when he was throwing, if we had gotten to finish that drive where we could have set it up the way it should have gone, where they go the length of the distance of the clock, go down the drive till there's only 3 seconds left, I believe we kick that field goal and walk away. And we could have been 5-0 this year if we could have finished both those games. Unfortunately, it just didn't go our way. So it sucks because it felt like we had everything going our way. The momentum was on our side, and then it just kills you when a turnover goes that way. So Addison says it tipped off someone's helmet, kind of a fluky pick. So, yeah, that's just a bummer. I mean, it's like anything that could have happened on that last drive. It could have been anything from anything but a turnover. Even a 3-and-out and have to punt it, then it would have gone to overtime. And of course, that would have messed up the whole Mariners schedule. But and maybe I jinxed it because I said, "Man, whatever they do, they just can't go to overtime. We need to win. It's got to end in regulation." Well, football God said, "Okay, no overtime for you," and then that's what happened. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. But nonetheless, I like what I saw. The defense needs to be better. We need to get better pressure on the quarterback. We only got 1 sack, and it seemed like Baker Mayfield, for the most part, had all the time in the world, especially that one bomb that he got that landed at the 2-yard line late in the game. I mean, he was just camping, cooking steaks back there. So, yeah, we'll see. But after that, so we lost. We were pretty deflated, but then I had to go because the game was over, and the Mariner game was going to start in less than an hour. It was like 45 minutes to get from packed Seahawks Stadium with everybody staying to the end, crossing over. It's just next door, but the traffic of people to get through is no easy feat. So rushed over, met up with Mark, and then we walked over we had to stop by the car to get some stuff. He had to change his outfit and all this stuff. So we walked over to across the street at T-Mobile and got in line there and got to our seats just in time for the national anthem. Andrew Paul with the super chat. What's the fan ratio when you're hosting the Niners? What's the fan ratio? Like that first game when the Niners were in town? I mean, people were saying, it's going to be 53% red. It wasn't that much. I mean, there was still a pretty good amount of red in there. They always do travel well. Like, I think the Rams the other night, they defeated the Rams in L.A., that looked like it was like 70% 49ers fans. I would say probably in our game it felt like 35% 49ers fans, maybe 40 if I want to be a little more, giving in that number. But it certainly wasn't more than half in our game. But they are noticeable and they're loud too. Yeah. So going back to just kind of to wrap things up, just wanted to talk about so going between Lumen Field and T-Mobile Park, that area. If you've ever been down there, the little street that goes between Lumen Field and T-Mobile. So that's a major point where people are leaving, trying to get out of there and get to the light rail station. It's also where everyone's coming in to do the same thing for the Mariner game. So it was packed. It reminded me of the crowds at the Super Bowl party, to be honest with you, just in that little area, because it was just literally wall-to-wall people trying to get from one side of the street to the other. So once we got inside, we got to the game, found our seats, got a little bit of food before we sat down, got the time just for the anthem. So we just made it in time for the start of the game. And yeah, it was a slow going game, not a lot of offense. Mostly, it was a no hitter going to the fifth inning. I didn't realize it because Detroit had runners on almost every inning, but they were mostly from walks. And then he gave up the one hit, and then they took him out, and then went to the bullpen. The bullpen did great up until the eighth inning, and where he gave up a couple runs. But prior to that, really the only offense we had the first night, it was Julio Rodriguez who had the home run, the RBI that gave them the two measly runs that they had from the first night when they lost. And then today it was the Jorge Polanco show with two home runs in the same game against one of the best pitchers in the league, Cy Young candidate, all that. And he went yard twice, and that was huge. So he got the two runs, and then Julio got again, like he did last night, got the RBI double that scored the go-ahead run in the eighth inning, and that was all we needed. After that, it was the what's his name? Blanking. Senior Smoke, our closer, to just close out the game. It was just what he did. So it was a great feeling. But the energy in both stadiums, really, it was pretty electric. At Lumen Field, the crowd was into it. We were into it. It was great having Lumen, 80 and Quentin next to me, yelling and screaming. Crowd was definitely going. And just please, if you ever go to a game, don't be that fan that starts doing the Seahawks chant when we're on offense. It's different, right? If you're in a Mariners game, everyone's doing the, Julio or let's go Mariners. At any point is fine. You can do it when we're on offense. You can do it when we're on defense. It's totally fine. Just don't do it when the Seahawks have the football and they're trying to get a snap count or they're in the huddle. It happened so many times today, and I just want to... Are you freaking serious? Have you not learned? You're not helping our offense get the chant, this cheer going when your team is trying to operate and get the snap count. You're making noise is not helping. Driving me crazy. Not that I think it was a factor in the game, but it was good to see the energy. And yeah, the second half was just exciting. It's just, we just won too many mistakes. But I loved seeing, the run game was coming together. The passing game was working. Darnold was good. And if you're going to lose, we lost in a good, entertaining way. Just got to clean up a few things. But, yeah, the Mariners, though, we really needed that win. I mean, this could have been the most depressing weekend in sports in Seattle in a long time if we had lost that last game, because it would have been a double loss for the Mariners, facing elimination, and a Seahawks loss in between a game that they should have won, too. I mean, that would have been, going home tonight, I would have really looked depressed. So it was good to have that win. It was so much fun. The energy... hanging on every strike. I mean, just the crowd roars whenever there's a strike. And it's just cool to have so much. I mean, that's what playoff baseball is so great. We have so little of it here. So to actually be a part of that tonight was awesome. To be able to go to a Seahawks game and then immediately go to a Mariner game, not just any Mariner game, but to go to a Mariner playoff game, which I've never been to, was amazing. So being able to do both, I got to knock off a couple things off my bucket list. I got to watch back-to-back games and got to go to my first Mariner playoff game, and it was a win. So the Mariners, I got that off my list, but the Mariners also shook off a 24-year-old record that stood of a playoff win in Seattle. That's the first time since 2001 since that's happened. So I got to witness a piece of history of breaking that 24-year streak. So we'll see. Now it keeps going. It keeps going, and with potentially, if they win one and lose one in Detroit, then they'll come back here for a Game 5. If they win both, then they'll sweep and win it on the road in Detroit. The one thing we can't have is we can't have two losses, otherwise that'll be the end of that. So we got to get at least one game win here in the next couple in Detroit. And how cool would that be if they do come back for a Game 5? I mean, that would be pretty dramatic on Friday. But yeah, that's it. I just want to get a few of those thoughts out there. Thanks for all your comments here. I didn't get to everything. D-Nugget, dear God, all I ask is that the Mariners make it to the World Series. Yes, that would be nice to be able to put that record to bed, being the only team that's never been to a World Series. And this is the closest best shot that we've ever had, minus 2001. So we'll see what happens. Plus, I really wanted to win this because then my music prediction record would be staying in a good shape. Now I've lost 2 games. Well, actually 3 technically, because I thought we were going to lose in Pittsburgh, and I thought we'd beat the Niners, and I thought we'd win this game. So I've 3. I'm 3-3 or 2-3. I have a losing record on my music video too, so that's not good. Spooky season. Seahawks defense is honestly horrible without key players. Well, that kind of goes with enough teams. If you have enough key players missing, they will normally not do very well. But we've got to get better pressure on the down linemen for sure. JSD says, Darnold is a franchise guy. I would rather us know our QB than win, but Darnold looks bad? I'm not sure what that means. Darnold is a franchise guy. I would rather us know our QB than win, but Darnold looks bad. Huh. Not quite sure. Gail Egley, what are my thoughts on the Vikings? I haven't watched a lot of the Vikings, but it seems like, some quarterback issues there. We're going to play them eventually here, so I like our chances, but we'll see how we're doing with at that point of the year. That's going to be later, I think in December. Commanders smoked the Chargers. That's nice. We play the Commanders too. Tim says, "Hey Norb Cam, 1 year. I want to go to a Seahawks game one day. It's a fun thing. It's definitely it's different. Baseball is different. They're both fun in their own way, but there's a certain level of crowd participation, making noise when the defense is on the field. That is like, I feel obligated. Like if I'm not screaming and making noise on every play, I feel like I'm not doing my job. It's a little different in a baseball game. Love to see us whoop Detroit, then a Blue Jays Seattle ALCS for sure. A Seattle Blue Jays series would be amazing, just because Toronto and Seattle have good rivalry blood all the time anyway. Tim, met you in 2014 when we sent the Seahawks to the Super Bowl. Oh, I'll go way back then. Ruby, I saw you in passing today. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Bill says, we got time, Norb. Yeah, well, we do. We do have some time. Let's see. Well, next game is going to be Sunday on the road in Jacksonville. And then we have a bye. No, then we have the Monday night game in Houston. And we could have another doubleheader situation. If the Mariners are able to advance, it's possible they could have a home championship game against potentially the Toronto Blue Jays. And that could conflict with the Monday night Houston game, which is on October 20th. So we could be facing another interesting scenario. But I don't think we could do back-to-back games because they'll be kind of overlapping. A faithful Seahawks fan. I told you guys on Real Talk last year we would pivot from Geno. Well, you got that right. And boy, the Raiders do not look good. They got spanked today. 40 to something. I mean, I don't know what's going on over there. I know that Geno's thrown a lot of picks, but he says he's happy over there. So now whether people are happy with him, that's a whole different story. But he says he feels like he fits better with the Raiders. So, okay, glad he found his place because clearly he didn't want to be here. So if you don't want to be here, that's fine. Oh, faithful Seahawks fan is Abel. Abel, we got to get some Seahawks Real Talk going on again. It's been a while, so hopefully maybe this week. It's just been very busy with this project I've been involved in, but we're running close to the edge, ever so close to being finished with it. So, all right, yeah, Ryan, Yankees are down 0-2. It's crazy. Tyler Pico's birthday coming up. All right, we'll get something going for that. And I have to get a new Seahawks jersey. I want JSN or Jake Bobo. JSN, he's a star already, but he's gonna be one of the greats. The way he's continuing to play and just he has at least one signature catch every single game. There was one touchdown today, the one that at the half, right before the half, that Sam Darnold threw to JSN in the back of the end zone. He threw in triple coverage. There was like 3 guys all converging, and somehow he threaded that window right before they all converged, and JSN in the back of the end zone caught that pass. JSN, Cooper Kupp made some really amazing catches under pressure. Torrey Horton had a great game. How about Drake Young? Drake Young with a couple of nice returns, also good kickoff coverage. K9 over 100 yards. Normally when we get over 100 yards, we win. We would have won. We just, again, won too many mistakes. AJ Barner lighting it up. I think, was it 2 touchdowns or 1 touchdown? Can't remember now. Really good, though. He's been having a great year. Arroyo had a catch or 2 here, and then, but yeah, Charbonnet with a touchdown run. He did all right too. Just the mistakes and the slow start in the beginning. I was like, what is this team? Who is this? And the defense, like I said, we'll be able to hang, but the injuries are tough. We just got to improve and not make so many boneheaded shoot yourself in the foot plays. But the look was cool. Yeah, Ryan Parsons, the throwbacks, the jerseys for Tampa Bay is pretty cool. All right, but I'm going to wrap things up here. Clean this stuff up, get some chill time before wrapping the night up. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I want to do a call-in session sometime later this week so I can get thoughts on Seattle sports, the Seahawks, and maybe the Mariners too. But we'll see. Tuesday is the next game for the Mariners, so I'm going to try to watch that and maybe stream that as well. And, we're away at Jacksonville on Sunday, so that's the next order of business. But anything can happen. Rudy's World. Happy Filipino Heritage Month. Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much. And, anything's possible. I mean, this division is still wide open. Somehow the 49ers are still on top of it, but, it's pretty tight. It's pretty tight. And thank goodness Arizona lost too. I guess they had a pretty dumb play where somebody dropped the ball before the goal line again, same as what happened last week. What's wrong with you guys? Too much showboating going out there. All right. We will talk to y'all soon. Have a great rest of your week. And go Hawks, go Mariners. Let's go, baby. Talk to y'all later.